Okay. So from the exchange side, mm, so yeah, when you need to, why would you need to run a message trace? We actually use this message trace when we have issues. Say, for example, a user is complaining that they sent a mail, they didn't receive the mail. Anything that has to do with mail flow issues, first thing you should do is to run a message trace to tell what the issue is, right? What's actually happening, who is the sender, who is the recipient, and you can actually use message trace for mails coming in and outside of your organization. Now, a particular sender could be, let's say, me, Rafia. I would be using myself, and I would also want you guys to send emails from your end. So you should be signed into your Microsoft 365 Admin Center. To start with, let me say I'm sending a mail out. Let's start with sending mails out from the Outlook web app. So if I click here on my app launcher, I open Outlook. I'm going to first send a test email. Let's say I'm sending this test email to Abiti. Test email, kindly, no. Now, how would you run a message trace? If I come back to my Exchange Admin Center, the sender now is me, which is Rafia, and the recipient is Abiti. You say no results found. I'm not sure I got your complete name. You're supposed to pull up your name here.
It's ABIGI.
Let me, ABITI. Yeah, it's supposed to show here. It's not picking your name. So let me use another name. Let me see. I want to use, okay, Isaac. It's supposed to be Isaac.
Yes, ma'am.
Isaac before the Abiti. So I'll just use Isaac. That should pull up. So you have Isaac there. Then so here you're going to pick a time frame. When did you send the email? Say the user sent the email. We're using myself now. I sent this email this morning. So we're using today. So if it's a mail issue, maybe the user has been expecting the mail before today, some days back, you have the option to pick the start date. When was it? Let's say since last week, the user has been expecting that mail. Just pick the time frame. I'm going to show you something. The difference between message trace and extended message trace is in the duration of time. Now, if you look back, this today is 13th, right? If I take this 3 days back, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's say we're starting with the 6th and we're picking till today. I sent the mail some minutes ago, so I'll just pick 10:30 from between last week and now. Now you can choose to pick you can choose to filter with the subject. Delivery status is was it delivered, expanded, failed, what happened? So in our own case, we'll just leave it as the default what you have there and click on search. Now you would see we have different report type. We have the summary report, which is instant. This is instant because it's within the search you're running is within 10 days. Anything outside, anything more than 10 days, it's going to be an extended report. So if I click on search now, you would see the result for the mail that I sent to Isaac today. This is it. This is the sender, this is the recipient. You can see the subject and the status says it's delivered. So Isaac, if you're signed in, you would see that test email in your Outlook. Now let's go back to editing this message trace. What if I want to pick a time past 10 days? Say 2 weeks ago, that's like 14 days. You'd see here, it says you can now query back to 90 days of historical data for a summary report instant with a maximum of, so you can only have anything more than 10 days, you have the downloadable CSV file, which is what we call the extended message trace report, this guy here. So you click next and prepare report. Now, most times we use this EMT when we want to troubleshoot deeper, right? When you're unable to tell exactly what the issue is, when you need to get the instances where you're analyzing the message header, you need to get the network message ID. You can get it from this extended message report, or you get it from the message header itself. Now, who is this? Once this EMT is ready, who is going to receive the report, a notification that the downloaded extended message trace report is ready? Who? The person is going to be your IT admin, the global admin, or your exchange admin. So you put that person's email address here and click prepare report. As soon as the report is ready, the admin will receive the notification and they'll be able to come to the download reports section to get that report. Now, all you need to do is just close this, and when I refresh, so you can see we have default queries, custom queries, auto-saved queries, downloadable reports. So this is where you would find that extended message report. You can see here it's showing not started. So once it's started and it's ready, the IT admin's email address that you put in there would receive a notification and they can come here to download the EMT. So that's it with getting a message trace, how you run a message trace, and how you get your extended message trace. Now, I like to always I like you to go on your own and read more about message trace. This is because I've been asked this question before in an interview. Message trace in Exchange Online. Another thing is this. When I wrote my my MS 102, there was a question that came out that I remembered vividly that I also read while I was preparing for that exam. It had to do with phishing emails and malware. Not just that, there were lots of questions that came out, and those questions, sometimes we say questions don't come out from the Learn modules. Questions actually came out from the Microsoft Learn module in the last exams that I wrote. So you can just go through this on your own. I'll drop that in the chat. So the next thing we're going to look at is how do you get message headers to analyze from your Outlook desktop app and your OWA, your Outlook web app. Now, I want you to confirm, can you see my Outlook desktop open? You can unmute and confirm for me. Can you see my Outlook desktop?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Okay, beautiful. Now, when you receive mails within your inbox, right? Say, for example, you received an end user received a spam email, and you as an admin, you need to analyze the message header to actually tell where the mail is coming from and all of that. What do you do? Now, as an end user, you have the option, right? Even without, before you reach out to your admin, what would you do as an end user? Because sometimes these users, when they receive spam emails, some of them are conscious. They can tell that this email is spam and they reach out to support. They'll be like, they want us to confirm to them if actually this mail is spam or not. Then what we do is we tell them that just in case of the next time, one thing you can do is on your own, you right click on the email, and either you reporting as phishing or you report as junk. Then the last thing you do is to block sender. You block the sender of that email. Now this is one thing the end user can do from their own end. Always block that sender. Then as an admin, to get the message header, what you do is you double click on the email. Let's say you double click on the email. Let me get one here. From your Outlook desktop app, double click on this email, go to File from the left-hand side. Then you have Properties. This properties is where you get the message header of that email. Now, you see here it's called Internet Headers. Highlight the message header and copy that. So from your Outlook desktop app, this is how you get the message header of any email that is received. Make sure you double click, go to File, and come here to get the message header. Now, this is for Outlook desktop app. How about for Outlook web app? For OWA, you'd go back to your right from here. What you also need to do is go to your inbox folder. Click on the mail you want to get the header. Just click on these three dots. Three dots by your right hand side. The three dots by your right hand side. You'd see view. View. Click on view message details. This is the header. You do the same thing. You highlight and copy, then click close. Now, how do we analyze this message header? You go to open a new browser. You can either use the most common tool that we use to analyze message header is we call it message header analyzer tool. Once you type this, hit enter, you scroll down. Scroll down. I hope you guys are doing what I'm doing. Click on message header analyzer. Then you paste the header here. Then click analyze headers. Now, you'd see that we have you'd see that here you have the subject title, you have the message ID, you have the time it was sent, the from who, the sender, the recipient. Now, this message header has different sections. First, you can see this shows us the hops, how the mail got delivered. The receiving host, the time, the delay, the type, all of this shows how it got the period, the journey it took before it finally got delivered. That's what this first part shows. Now, the second part, which we're most interested in, is this forefront anti-spam report header. Everything that has to do with this takes us to the core of email and collaboration within the Defender portal. Now here you'd see anti-spam report header. This will give you First thing you see, the spam confidence level. I'm going to explain that to you, what SCL means. You have the spam filtering verdict. You can see here it tells this mail is not spam. The IP filter verdict, the connecting IP address. Now the protection policy category, none. If this was high fish, you'd see it there. Then spam rules, source header. So basically, these are the things we look out for as an Exchange admin or M365 admin when you're analyzing a message header. Now you see this direction, inbound. Inbound means mail is coming in, outbound going out. Then you have the BCL, just the same way you have your SCL, you have your BCL. That's bulk complaint level, the number of mails that are being sent at a time. Now here you now have your the detail part of the header. The next thing we check here is the authentication results. When you hear, anytime you hear about SPF, DKIM, DMARC, this is where you get to see that in play. Your sender policy framework, your DMARC, and your DKIM. Those are three email authentication protocols that we actually use to prevent spoofing, malware, and spam phishing from your organization. Now here you can see that the authentication result shows that SPF is pass. This is the sender IP. You also have that DKIM pass, and you have DMARC pass, action none. Now, this is quite, just try, and I know it might look too technical, but yeah, with time you get to understand all of this. Now, you see this DMARC. DMARC has three actions. When a mail fails DMARC, because you can see the action here is none. When a mail fails the DMARC check, what happens? It's either it rejects it, it quarantines the email, or it does nothing. Those are three actions that could happen when a mail fails the DMARC check. Now, then another thing we normally look at here is the return part. This return part, for mails that, let's say, we call such mails spoofing emails, where you think that the original sender, the sender appears to be and the original sender, but no, that email has been spoofed. Now, if you want to really tell if that email is actually from that sender, you just come here and look at the return part. You will discover that the email address you have here is usually different from the actual sender email address. If you compare both now, you see that it's the same. But for spoofing emails, you discover that it's not the same. So what do you do? Do you actually, which of the emails would you block as an admin? It is the email that you have here that you're going to block as an admin. This email in the return part, that's the original, the exact, or the actual hacker, the bad actor. That's the email you're going to block. Now, basically, this is how we analyze message headers. These are the things you actually check out for, the basic things you check out for within when you use the message header analyzer tool. Then here you have the connecting IP. This is looking this thing. If it's a regular email address, you would see the IP address. You just copy from here and you go and block it within the Defender portal. Now let's look at how I'm going to check the messages just in case you have a question. Yeah, I think after looking at how to analyze message headers, we'll now go to the Office 365 Defender portal. Let me quickly check the chat. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. The message header should work for Gmail. The message header analyzer tool. Like I said, we also have the MX toolbox, not just this one. We have the MX toolbox, but we prefer to use this I think this is for Microsoft. So you can use the MX toolbox. So in this case, for MX toolbox, you have different things that you can do here. We use the MX toolbox to, if you want to analyze headers, click on Analyze Headers and paste your header here. If you're talking about using Gmail, mails from Gmail, I could just go to my Gmail and copy a mail from my Gmail, paste it here, and click on Analyze Header. That's one thing you can do from MX Toolbox. Another thing you can do from the MX Toolbox is go back to the first tab, and here it tells you to look up for anything. We look up for, okay, no, this is how you use the MX Toolbox. You're going to use your custom domain, your organization's custom domain. Let's say we're using Nigeria M365 community.com. This is a domain, right? You do the MX lookup. So you can see here, it gives you results, right? It tells you that the DMARC record for this domain hasn't been published, but you do have a DNS record. That means you have your SPF record, you have your MX record pointing to Microsoft 365. Now, if I want to check for, it's looking different today. Okay, so if it's the CNAME lookup, there are different things you can look up here. Your CNAME, your DKIM, your DMARC. I think those are the three that relates to us. If you also want to check your domain health, you just pick whichever one you want to check, and you get the result here. So here that you see that DMARC is not configured. How do you configure DMARC? How do you configure DKIM? That's another question. So to configure your DKIM and DMARC, you do that from your domain. That's your DNS service provider portal. Now, I'm not the one that purchased this domain, right? But for a domain that you've purchased, you have the credentials to that domain. So you sign into the domain. If I want to know where this particular custom domain was gotten from, all I'll just do is open another browser and type whois, and I click enter. I'm using incognito here, so I'll just select this and paste the domain name. The domain name is Nigeria M365 community.com. You can also check yours from your own end. So this is the detail. This is the DNS service provider. That's the Wild West Domains LLC. So that's where this domain was purchased from. So all what the admin would need to do is just sign into this Wild West domain. Some of us have our domains already on Namecheap and all of that. So you just sign in there and enable, configure your DMARC and your DKIM. Let's say you configure in Microsoft 365, in M365. Let's click pilot giving me. So we have different records. We have TXT records, you have CNAME record. So your DMARC record is a TXT record. Take note, is a TXT record, and you don't have to know this. Like you don't have to. You can just have this somewhere as an admin. This TXT record. This is it. For example, you have your host name and you have the TXT value. This is all you need as an admin to configure your DMARC. You see, some people think it's something really big. No, it's as simple as this. I'm going to paste this here so you can see. All you just need to do is edit the DMARC record. I hope you can see my screen. Just confirm in the chat that you can see my screen. So you have your host name. You just copy this and paste in the host name. I'm supposed to show you that. Let's say in our next class, I'll do this for us. We'll create a domain and have all of this configured. So now for the host name, you have your DMARC. The TXT value is this. The only thing you're going to change here is your custom domain, right? Right here, I'm just going to put, instead of contoso.com, I will put Nigeria M365 community.com. What you do to the row is what you do to the roof. Same thing here. I'll type my Nigeria M365 community.com. This is your DMARC. We call it DMARC TXT record, or this is the TXT. Yes, this is a TXT. These are the records you're going to put in your DNS portal when you sign in. Now, when you're adding this record, it's going to ask you which record are you adding. Is it TXT? You see a list of all the records. You have C name, A records, AA, MX records. So you're going to pick TXT. Then you put in all of this value there. Now you can see this P for reject is the policy. Like I said, we have 3 different policies. You have here it is. You have the DMARC policy tells the destination email system what to do with messages that fail DMARC. The first one is reject. It's not even going to get deleted. It won't even hit your mail server at all. This one says quarantine. It gets quarantined, and this one nothing happens. So no action. It just like what happens to the message depends on the EOP. That's in our own case within M365. It's called Exchange Online Protection. So it depends on the email protection features of the destination email system. So this is basically all about DMARC. If you want to read more, sure, I can share the link with you. Now, for DKIM, DKIM is for you to be able to enable DKIM for your organization, you need to publish 2 CNAME records. Let me drop this link here. Okay, Yusuf Shehu, I can see your hands up. Let me quickly finish up with DKIM, then you can ask your question, please. So now for DKIM, I'm going to show you, let's say, configure. My Copilot is actively working. So for DKIM, you have 2 CNAME records that would be published. I'm not sure we have DKIM enabled for the Nigerian M365 community. I'm signed into the TechTired account. Let me see. Let me use this guy to sign into the Nigerian M365 community. Though I will still not be able to. Please confirm in the chat that you can still see my screen. Oh. So I'm going to compare 2 tenants with you so you can see when DKIM is enabled or not. Okay, beautiful. So I'll come here and type Refia, first one. Then we have just give me a minute quickly. Let me just authenticate. Okay. So how you get to enable DKIM, that's from the Defender portal. So here, if you look at this for TechTired, all of the domains have DKIM enabled. So you click on the admin icon from the left-hand side. Click on show all. Then you go to settings. Oh, no. Here you have the list of your domains, right? We're going to the Defender portal. So I'll just scroll down here, come to security. Security is what we call the Defender portal. So right here, we're going to be focusing on Defender for Office 365. So let me close this. Then you have your email and collaboration. Email and collaboration. So you go to policies and rules. Please take note. You go to policies and rules. Then here you have your threat policies. Now, we're going to look at all of these the threat policies, the anti-phishing, anti-spam, anti-malware. But first, to get your DKIM enabled, go to email authentication settings. Don't forget we said DKIM, SPF, and DMARC are your 3 authentication protocols that we use within the Microsoft 365. Here you can see your domain keys identified mail is an authentication process that can help protect both senders and recipients from forged, that's spoofing emails and phishing emails. Now, all of these domains here, you'd see none of them has DKIM enabled. But you see this guy that comes with the .onmicrosoft.com. If I oh so, could you please mute yourself? I'm unable to tell. So please just mute yourselves. Like I said, Teams is acting up, so I can't really mute everyone at once. It's not working. So let me go back here. I was explaining how to so can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You're
So let,
explaining how to enable DKIM
Yes.
okay,
using
good,
next
good.
authentication.
Okay, so I was explaining how to enable this. So you'd see here, the first one says that's the custom domain that we have, Nigeria M365 community. It says CNAME missing, right? But you see the one that's by default. Once you sign up for M365, if I toggle this, it shows disabled. So you just toggle to enable DKIM. Let's see what happens now. Um, it's supposed to be enabled. I'll refresh and you'd see that this gets enabled without, yeah, you see, that's for the default, the one that your .onmicrosoft.com. For this one, you don't need to publish to CNAME records. But you see, for your custom domain, you have to. You can either click directly from here to enable it, or you click on the custom domain name and you enable it from the page. So now this is it. This is where you get to. It will tell you that please publish the following two CNAME records first, right? This one actually gives you the two CNAME records you need to publish. So what you just do is you copy. This is what we normally do. It's immediate. You copy this, do your Control C. It's either you paste on a notepad or you paste it right here on a Word document, whichever one you want to do. So most times we use a notepad. You use a notepad. Let me do this notepad. I open that. So all you just need to do as an admin is paste this domain name. We don't need the domain name. We already know our domain name, right? You have your host name. You click enter. The point to address, that's the value. So I'm going to explain to you. Don't forget, we have, for those of you that are freelancers, yeah, this is a plus for you. The host name selector one, that's the CNAME record. CNAME, the first CNAME record. Selector two is your second CNAME record. Oh, so right here, all you just need to do, you're also not going to change anything here. Just copy the host name, paste it in your DNS record, and do the same for the value. You copy and you paste it. There's something we also call TTL, that's the time. It's usually set to 3,600. So you pick the first CNAME, add the value, the second CNAME, you add the value, you save the records, and for some DNS service providers, the changes, it's immediate. You don't need to wait for hours. Some you need to wait for some time. So you might do that for your customer, and the customer is like, you're still unable to, you come back to your Defender portal. When you come back here and you try to enable, it tells you that it has not recognized that any changes has been made from. So you see, it could take a few minutes to as many as 4 days, depending on your DNS. But I've not seen anyone that takes more than 24 hours. When we go on call with the customer, we help them add those records, even if they don't get propagated that day. By the time you call them the next day or before the end of that day, the DNS records have been propagated and the changes have saved. Or yeah, so when you come here and you toggle to enable, automatically it picks and you have your DKIM enabled. So this is how you configure DKIM. Nothing serious. Publish the two CNAME records in the DNS portal, and that's all about DKIM and DMARC. So let me see. Someone was asking, putting up his hand. Do you still have a question? Oh, okay. Um, You can unmute and ask your question, Oluwafemi.
Hi, Rafia. Thanks so much for today. I just wanted to ask now, publishing the DKIM, that means I have to go to my uh provider where I bought my custom domain name, right? And log into the portal to get this done.
Yes, that's correct. So
Okay,
for you,
thank you.
yes, you're welcome. The publishing of the CNAME records is from your DNS portal. You have to add those two CNAME records in the DNS portal. Yeah. So Yusuf, do you still have a question, or I've answered your question already? So
No, ma'am. The question has been answered.
it has been answered. Okay, then.
Yes.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
You're
Thank
welcome. So that's it about DMARC and DKIM. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to okay, I said I was going to show you the two different domain, two different tenants where you have DKIM enabled. So now if we come to our own M365 environment, let me bring you here. This is for Tech Tired, the one you have your account. So if you go to policies and rules, we come to threat policies. You scroll down to email authentication settings. You come to DKIM. You see that everything here shows enabled, enabled, enabled. That's because this guy here has its CNAME records has already been published. So you see some admins saying that you can see these are those two CNAME records. You want to rotate the DKIM keys. You can click that to rotate. It's more like in layman's term, you're reshuffling kind of. So that's basically all. Now, I said we're going to look at the threat policies. Our focus here would be on the threat policies, and before that, I would like us to look at what we call there's this actions and submissions within the Microsoft Defender portal. Now, what do we understand by these submissions? For submissions, I would explain that. Let me look through this part to explain to you in. Now, we actually make Microsoft for several reasons, and that could include instances when legitimate email, right? We call it clean email that doesn't have any kind of malicious URL or malicious file attached gets blocked for no reason. There are instances like that. It doesn't get delivered. Either the user is getting an NDR, different reasons, or mails, malicious emails or suspicious emails that should have been blocked did not get blocked. Rather, they got delivered, right? It didn't go to the end user's junk folder. It got delivered directly in the end user's inbox folder. I hope you do know that ideally, with what we have in place with our EOP, which is the Exchange Online Protection, spam emails are not supposed to be delivered. Phishing emails are not supposed to be delivered. Spoofing emails are not supposed to be delivered. All of these emails are depending on the SCL. That's another thing. Depending on the SCL, right? If it's high fish, you see emails that are high fish, that have been classified as high phishing emails, those emails are usually quarantined. They don't get delivered at all. Now, I did mention earlier that a question was asked, right, in that exam, and it was saying some admins can choose to create, we have what we call transport rules within Exchange. Within Exchange. I don't think we covered that, but I'm sure your previous trainer must have explained to you during under mail flow transport rules. So you could create transport rules to bypass spam filtering for certain kind of emails, or bypass spam filtering for emails coming from a particular domain, a domain that you trust or a sender that you trust, right? Now, in this instance, when you're creating a transport rule for high phishing emails and malware, you cannot create a transport rule to bypass such kind of emails. Those are two types of mails that you cannot bypass using transport rule. That's it about phishing emails and malware. So the instances where what will make an admin to make submissions to Microsoft directly. Now, you don't want to raise support ticket. That's what it means, right? You don't want to reach out to Microsoft support. You just want to send it directly. Let Microsoft be the one to tell you why. Why did they allow this spam email to get delivered? That's where submissions comes in. Now, these suspected phishing emails, spam, malware, and other potentially harmful messages. Now, these submissions help Microsoft to not just it's not just about Microsoft analyzing and telling you that okay, this was why it was delivered, this was why it this was why it was delivered, or giving you reasons why. Not just that, it would also help Microsoft enhance their detection and prevent such kind of emails from being delivered in the future. That's another important reason of submitting directly to Microsoft. If you raise support and the support engineer just helps you analyze the headers, tells you, okay, let's go here, block this, block that, that's all. But when you make submissions directly to Microsoft, with that, with the analysis, anytime a mail is coming, without you having to manually block that sender or the IP, Microsoft itself would filter those mails based on the analysis, right? Then it's actually designed to be user-friendly and efficient. So another thing about this submission is we have a part called end user reporting. It's not just for the admin, though the admin has to configure that from the portal. I'm going to show that to you. This part also came out in the exam. I'm just letting you know that you must have hands-on experience, right? These are things that you've done, you've configured, you've worked within the Defender portal. So they just put a screenshot, a graphical image of this, right? And you need to tell what needs to be here. They put the box there. You fill in the boxes with the actions or the tabs. So that would confirm that yes, you really worked within the space. So now this is the submissions part. What do you do here as an admin? Right? You have emails, you have email attachments, you have URLs, then you have user reported. I'm going to take us through each tab and what you do as an admin within this space. Now, as an admin, you want to make a submission to Microsoft for analysis. You click on this plus icon, and it's asking you what submission type, right? Is it the mail, the spam email, or is it just the URL? Sometimes you'd see the website of organizations being flagged as malicious. The URL of the organization's website being flagged, or they have a marketing campaign, something that shouldn't be flagged as malicious. You see the system marking it as malicious, not allowing such emails to get delivered and all of that. So you can just decide that it's just that URL you want to submit to Microsoft. Let them know that this URL is not malicious. HTTP HTTPS, let me say, so I'm using a URL now for an example, right? So now it's asking, why are you submitting this URL to Microsoft? Most times it's usually longer. Possibly people add it to their signatures and stuff like that. So just copy the URL that is being flagged as malicious, paste it here, and let Microsoft know that you've confirmed that it's clean. That means it's not malicious. It appears clean. You've confirmed it's clean. It appears suspicious. You've confirmed it's a threat. Now, you'd understand that a mail could appear suspicious, but it's not a threat, right? And in some instance, right away, you as an admin might have confirmed that it's threat, so you just pick this option. Then you choose a category. Is it fish or is it malware? You click next, and you tell it you want to add this URL to the blocked list. You have a tenant allowed block list. You also have another part that, so when you say tenant allowed block list, it's still org wide, applies to the tenant as a whole. You also have another part within the anti-spam policies where you can block email addresses, block, okay, that one is for email addresses and for IP addresses, but you can't block URL from that part. So this is it. You click, you check this box. It asks you, you want it to remove this block after how many days? For a URL that you've confirmed there is a threat, do you need to put a number of days to remove the block? So you just pick never expire. It's a permanent block for that URL. Then you click submit. So I can click submit because that URL is not I just fabricated that URL. So that's it about making submissions to Microsoft, depending on the submission type, the URL. Now let's focus on the submission type being a mail, right? A mail. Now, if you're using a mail, that means you need a sample of that email. Either a sample, these are two ways that you can submit emails to Microsoft directly for analysis. Either you're using the network message ID or you upload the email file from your PC. Now, how do we get the question would be, how do we get the message ID and how do you get the sample email file? I'm going to show that to you. Now, if I come to my OWA, my Outlook web app, I believe you can still see my screen, and I want to get the sample email. You need to download the email for you to be able to get that sample email. Download the email. So I'll just pick this guy. The same way we got the headers, click on the three dots by your right and click download. You can choose to download as a .eml or a .msg. Either ways, you still have your email. You click on download. It downloads that for you. Now, I go to my submissions page and you just click browse files and I go to downloads. You see the email there, test email. I pick that and I click open. Right? So I have that email there already. Now you're going to pick at least one recipient who had this issue. That is one recipient who received this email. I was on a call the last time, and the admin was telling me that they received a spam email. Several users received the emails, right? Sometimes it's not just one person. You have multiple people within the organization receiving the spam email. So, but just pick one person. I think this particular mail was sent to Isaac. If you put a wrong email address, it won't go, it won't work. Now, if I have to use the message ID, just go to the message header and pick the network ID here. So you can also scroll down, message network ID. I think I picked that from here. Is it this far or at the top? Network message ID should be here. Yeah, so this is it. The network message ID. This guy is different. You see this one, Control C is CEBB, right? 6EBB, 6EBB. You'd see here, this one just says message ID, because someone can tell me that, oh, Rafi, I see the message ID here. This one is different from this one is just message ID. The one we just copied now is the network message ID. So you can see Microsoft has sent me an email. You see, an alert has been triggered saying that this submission result is completed. So I can just click here to see the details, but I know I carried out that action, so no cause for alarm. So I've showed you how to, if you want to use the email file, if you want to use the network message ID, copy that from the headers and just paste it here. It will still ask you to put select one recipient that received the email. And if I pick myself here, tell Microsoft the analysis. That's basically it about making a submission to Microsoft. So I'm saying that I confirmed that it's a threat. I click next. It's still telling you, okay, so let's not pick that option that you could. Let's say I've confirmed that it's clean. I clicked next. So you can see here, it's saying that since it's clean, right? There's something we call false positive, false negative. False positive. You are saying that it's spam, but it's not spam, it's false. In case you are hearing something like false positive, false negative, this is where this is a typical instance. So now allow this message. So you can put that, maybe it thinks that it's a spoof or something. So just pick 45 days. You can allow it for 45 days. You can choose to, here you don't have the one that says never expire. So you can come over and pick till this takes till February. So that's basically all. You don't have never expire for this one. But if you don't want to, if you still want to, let me refresh this so that the submissions that we've done can show. I can also submit that because it's clean. So I come back to submissions. You would see here, it's saying no data available. Well, I made a submission. It should show here. Date submitted 1st to 13th. Submission ID. I don't have one. Okay, if I go to my Outlook, I know I received a mail here. View alert details. So I can still choose to make another submission if that initial one isn't showing, because you're going to see the analysis result. It's immediate. It's immediate. So let me pick here. Choose one user that is, I think this guy's own should work for us. Abiti's test email should work. Then I click next. And I click submit. So on your own, you can go through this and yeah, thank you for your submission. We'll get back to you as soon as your submission has been analyzed. Any updates will be shown on the submissions page. Okay, so I think the first one, I didn't get this confirmation. So that's it about submissions. Then we're going to look at the user reported. Beautiful. So you can see here, this is the submission that I just made. Submitted by me, date submitted, reason for submitting, not junk, status completed. So results, no threats found. So this one is, it didn't even take time. Sometimes it takes time to analyze. It doesn't give you the result immediately, but because this one is clean, you can see the result, no threats found. Now let's now look at this part that has to do with user reported. Now for user reported settings, a user would report that, oh, this email is spam, this email is fish. Then what would you do as an admin? The admin will still have to submit it to Microsoft for analysis. Now, for some organizations, you have to come here to manually enable this, right? So what this does is to allow users would be able to report this directly from Outlook. You can see, use the built-in report button in Outlook. Now, when you have that enabled, you can also, there's an option here. Yes, these are the things you should look out for. Send reported messages to Microsoft and my reporting mailbox. So which is the reporting mailbox? That is the admin's email address. Then you can also choose to customize the mail. Specify a Microsoft 365 mailbox to use as the from address of email notifications. Now, this one here says automatically email users. So after a user has reported email as spam, you can choose to select this option that automatically email users the result of the investigation, right? So check this option as an admin. You can, whatever it is you want as an admin, just check the option, then you click save. So those are the two, I think these are the key features of your submissions page, the user reported part. For user tags are usually used for a particular group of people within your Office 365 Defender portal. So most times don't use that. So we go back here to email and collaboration. That's it about the submissions page. So either you're using the email attachment, your URLs, or for user reported, if any user reports a mail, you would also see that in this listed here. No one has done that, but if anyone does, you see that here. Now let's now go to the threat policies. We have three different policies here. We have the anti-spam, anti-phishing, and anti-malware. So you see these guys here, these preset security policies and configuration analyzers, these are by default, what I call in my own words, follow-come. Now, when you come to the anti-phishing policies, Here you can choose to create your own. Whatever policy you create becomes a custom policy, right? You see, these ones are default policy, the strict preset, the standard. These two are default policies. But these guys, the likes of test for class, these ones are the ones that were manually created. Now, when you're creating a custom policy, one thing with custom policies is that you get to choose which group of users should this policy apply to. That's one difference between the custom policy and the default policy. Default applies to everyone, but for custom policies, if I'm creating a, let's say M365 test policy, I can choose to give it a description. I can choose not to. Here you have the option to select which users to include, which users to exempt, that's to exclude. Now I'm including, this should apply to so just pick the users that you want. If it's some employees within a particular department, if it's a group, a particular M365 group, you can also pick that. Then if you want it to apply to a particular custom domain, we have several domains here. You want it to apply to the wisdomware, you pick the wisdomware domain. Now, if you also want to exclude certain users, you add the users, the groups, and the domains you want to exclude from the group. Now you click next. Click next. Now, actions. What do you want? If the message is detected as spoof and DMARC policy is set to quarantine, what should you do? Now, you would see different actions here. This one says quarantine the message. This one says move the message to the recipient's junk email folder. Now, as an admin, you decide. Reject the email, quarantine the email. Just pick whatever action you want to suit, whatever, yes, action you want, right? For mails that have been detected as spoof, or for mails whose DMARC policy has been set to reject. So you click next, you review your policy, and you submit. I'm going to delete this later. The same way you create your custom policies, the same way you can also, I think this is the policy here. Click on more actions and I delete. But preferably, it's good that you disable the policy first. The same thing we normally advise when you create transport rules. Whenever you create a transport rule, before you delete the transport rule, disable the transport rule, so that tomorrow you not come and be looking for transport rule that is still, that you've deleted but is enabled, right? So now what we normally do is turn it off, disable the policy before you delete the policy. It's that simple. Create, delete, yeah, whichever one. So that's it about anti-phishing policies. We're going to look at anti-spam. Then my question, your question, someone might want to ask me, when emails are quarantined, where do you find quarantined emails? You know, as the end user will not see the email. It's only emails that maybe got delivered to junk that they might see for the users that will go there. Now, as an admin, right, if you want to see where emails, you want to see your quarantined emails, where do you go to? You come to, still under email and collaboration, on your left hand side, go to review, right? Go to review. Here you'd see quarantine. Yeah. So you see here, you review the quarantine messages and decide whether or not you want to release them. So for false positives, right? That's mails that have been wrongly quarantined. You come here, you see all of the emails. So these are the emails. You can see this email. And I need you to give me 1 minute. I'll be right back, please. Let me quickly confirm that you guys can still hear me. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, beautiful.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So now let's go back there. I see. Okay. We're looking at the quarantined emails, right? Yeah. So this is where you find the quarantined emails as an admin. You know, your role is to monitor and see what's happening, aside from just having to uh, check up on, or just having to manage the admin portal. These are part of the things you'll be doing as an admin. From time to time, you come here and check what's up. When you're having too many complaints from users not receiving emails, you just check here, and here you can see the subject title, the sender, the day it was received. You can see 12th, 9th, 8th, 6th. All of these got quarantined. And you would see the quarantine reason, right? You'd see the quarantine reason. I don't want to, I'm supposed to scroll down here. You'd see spam, spam, everything here, spam, bulk, spam. So nothing like high fish here. So that means the action that was sent for spam emails is that it should be quarantined. We're going to see that. The first policy we looked at is anti-phishing, right? So when we look at the anti-spam policies, you see from there, the admin has said that mails that have been marked as spams should be quarantined. That's why you're seeing this here. Now, release status. Before you can release as an admin, you need to review it, right? You only release that mail only after you've confirmed that the mail isn't spam. Then, who is the recipient? You have the policy type saying anti-spam policy, just like I said earlier. If it was marked as fish, you would see it. The policy type is the anti-phishing policy. Now, here you have the recipient. These are the different recipients. And let me just pick one. Let's pick this first one. It's saying that, do we want to release the email before I release it? So before you can see of the email. External email winter driving made easier. Anti-spam recipient count not yet released. Sender address. This is the recipient. I'm looking for the sender address. Beautiful. So here, this is the sender display name. You can see, and this is the sender address here. And because this mail, this is a typical instance now, as an admin, what would you do? See, it's even saying that this guy passed DMARC and it passed TKIM. everything is showing pass. So you would see, can you see this long URL here? This could be a reason, a good enough reason for why this was marked as spam, even though it's saying threat is known. Then this is another URL, several URLs here. So now if as an admin, I'm unable to, I don't know who this, I'm not expecting a mail. This, I can reach out to Ahmed and ask Ahmed if he has anything to do with this guy or these people. If he has anything to do with who is this guy now? Blue light, get car finance. Maybe he wants to get a car loan. Did he apply for a car loan? If he says no, he doesn't, this doesn't look familiar, so that means this is suspicious. So what you could just do as an admin is pick up the details you need, go ahead, and you don't need to release this guy. It's only a mail that's legit that you release. Very simple. If you want to release it, you know what to do. Just click release email. I'm not releasing this. So, but if you need to release, just check this guy, release email, and it will get delivered to Ahmed. Now you have several other features within this space. You can choose to view the message header directly from here, right? Or preview the message, delete from quarantine, download the message, or submit to Microsoft for review. Whichever one you want to do, you do that from here, right? I'm sure we are all familiar with all of this. We've touched message header. You know what a message header is. You know how to download the message and pick it up. For the preview part, okay, you just get to see what the mail looks like. That's what preview means. So this is it. So that's what preview means. So that's it. If you now want to, I've showed you where to get the quarantine emails, right? So now what if I want to block this sender address and the domain and the IP address? What do? You see, this is the sender's IP address here. Very clear. What do I do, right? So I'll just copy this. I'll close this. All of the details I need is within that space. The sender address, the connecting IP, that's the sender's IP. So this is this about quarantine emails. You need to release any email or you want to just delete, you know that you're not going to release it, you delete it directly from here. Now, before we leave this part, I want to show us one other feature, which is restricted identities. I don't want to miss out any part, so I'll still show you how to block those identities and the IP address for a bad actor. Now, for restricted entities, what do you understand by, or what do they mean by restricted entities? Restricted entities are people that restriction, you've been blocked. You've been blocked from sending. There's a reason why users get blocked, right? Restricted entities are blocked users. Why were these users blocked? The users have been blocked because the EOP sensed that these users have been sending too many messages, too many, not just messages, too many spam. In most cases, they are usually spam emails. Anytime the EOP senses such anomalous sending pattern, you see sometimes some admins will call and say they've received over 20,000 emails. I was on a call one day and the mail, right? Sorry, the mails was just, is it was or where? It was just dropping. I was confused. the, the admin was like it was terrible. Everyone was the admin employees were just calling and it was a serious one that day. So ideally, any user account that is seen like that sending such emails, is usually blocked and the user will not be able to send emails. So that means that user account has been compromised. The user account has been compromised, and yeah. So, but before then, what EOP would normally do is either before or after, once it just senses that a particular account is sending too many emails, it will just block that user. So what you do as an admin is one thing you can check when a user is not able to send emails is to check first as an admin that that user hasn't been blocked, right? You come here. Sometimes we have there are some messages you would see, NDRs that you would see, and you would know that it's because that user has been blocked. That's why they're unable to send emails. So you just come here. We don't have any blocked user here, but normal settings, you'd see a user listed here. You check the user, check the box, and you see the option to unblock, right? Just the same way you would do from your Office 365 admin portal. When you block an account, you just unblock. It's that straightforward. So this is just a plus. Now that's it about the restricted entities and quarantine emails. You get that from review. Then coming back to your policies and rules, we're going to look at anti-spam policies. Now, this is where I'm going to show you the action that you set as an admin, how you block bad actors, how you block domains, and how you block IP addresses. So basically how you configure anti-spam policies. Now, I'll need to refresh. It's taking too long to load. What's happening? Excuse me. Okay, while that is still loading, oh yeah, there's this. I was going to explain to you what SCL is. Let's give that some time to load. And yeah, I did explain here that spam confidence levels actually is a score that is assigned to emails that indicates the likelihood of a message being spam or not. So it's actually a score between 0 and 9. Yeah, between 0 and 9. So when you have an SCL level of 0, basically means that that mail isn't spam. And if you have, after 0, you have -1. -1, when a mail has an SCL of -1, it means it's keep the spam filtering. And you have 0, 1. So it's not like you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. It's you have 0, you have -1, you have 0, 1. You don't have 2, 3, 4. You have 5, 6. When a mail's SCL value is 5, 6, that means it has been marked as spam. And when it is 7, 8, 9, you can see that the number is actually high. High, like 9 is high confidence spam, high confidence fish. No, not high. High confidence spam, high fish. And yeah, 9 could also be for your high malware. So for as long as it's marked as 9, you have an SCL of 9. If you remember from the message header, we saw that SCL value, and we had that this guy is taking to it's not even loading. It's not loading. Let me try this one. So we use, the EOP actually uses that SCL value to filter emails. It uses the SCL value to filter emails. Let me come to anti-spam again. So it's good that you know what each value means, right? It's good that you know what each value means. I did say I was going to share that link with you. You can check that on your own. Spam confidence level. I don't need to copy that. Let me just type it here. I needed to take notes so I don't forget. Spam confidence level, SCL. You hardly go for an exchange interview and not be asked this guy. You'd be asked your SPF, DKIM, DMARC, SCL. So take note. So some of you will be preparing for interviews and yeah. Personal reading, that's SCL. I'll come back to my anti-spam policies. So yes, this is working fine for us. So for anti-spam, you also have your default policies. These strict preset policies and standard, they are follow-come. Then here you have, you can see this one is custom. It tells you it's a custom policy. Then for anti-spam inbound, when we say inbound, that's the direction of the mail flow. It's coming in. Now for this anti-spam inbound policy, you have BCL values, that's bulk mail threshold and spam properties. The bulk email threshold here is 7. So we really don't, except you're working on bulk emails, these ones aren't too much of a configure. We just leave it as default. But if you want to add, let's say you want to make changes here, you can come, you click on the edit, right? If the SPF record is hard fill, click on the drop down arrow. Do you want to turn this on or off? If you turn that on, backscatter, do you want to turn this on or off? So you just come here and pick whichever one you want to do. Now here, where I want to take us to is you want to set this bulk BCL for particular, say, emails coming from a particular country. We have some admins that have this. Just put Japan, put as many countries that you know that spam emails could likely come from, you indicate there. So that's it. Same with the language. If you want to filter against the language, you also select which languages you want this to apply to. Then click save. Now, here you have configure the test mode options for when a match is made to a test enabled advanced option. None, add default header, send BCC message. If you want to send a BCC message, you need to put the email address of whom you want the message to be sent to. So you click save. The operation could not be completed. Microsoft has been made aware of this. Okay, so I click OK. Now that's it about BCL. That is about BCL. Let's focus more on, let me close this part where I'm taking you to the actions, right? Spam message action. You can see here, if I click, you need to click on the edit action for you to see. There's something as we continue your training, you'd learn more about like this 0-hour auto purge. For some of you that have done your exams, maybe SC 900, I'm sure you're familiar with that. So this is where you set your action. What should happen for spam emails? Here it says move message to junk email folder. For high confidence spam, Here, I'm not even seeing anyone that says move to quarantine. For those mails that were quarantined, we should see one. What I'm only seeing here is high confidence phishing emails should be quarantined. So here you have phishing emails move to junk email folder. So whichever action, just the same way, just click on your drop down arrow. If you wanted to delete the message, if you wanted to quarantine the message, you just select that and you save. But this is basically where you set your actions to. So I think we're having a back end issue. But this explains where you set your action. Now, aside from this, you now have where you get to. We might likely not be able to add domains here. We might likely not be able to block. So this is it. Allowed and blocked senders and domains. You click on this. Don't go and make mistake to add a blocked sender, no, a bad actor's email address to your allowed sender. So you have the allowed part, you have the blocked part. So for the allowed, you click this. If you want, if for where you have false positives that mails from a particular sender have been quarantined or they got delivered to mark that have been marked as spam, what you can do is just come here. When they say add users to an allowed list, allowed senders list, this is what they're talking about. You can do this from here. And as a user, you can also do the same from your Outlook. Yes, you can do the same from your Outlook web app. I'll show you that here. From your Outlook web app, you come to junk email. Let me see. There's a place here, right here. This is where you come to add your senders email addresses to your allowed list. This is save senders and this is block senders. So as a user, you can do this from OWA, which is Outlook web app. You don't have that option in your desktop app. So you can do that from your OWA. I'm not too sure you can do that from your desktop app. So when you do that from your OWA for the admin, you do that from here. Yeah, you add your senders, enter the custom sender address. Sender address at.com. It's that simple. I click add and that's done. Now, if it's the domain you want to add, the same thing, just put your nju.com. This is domain. Click on this guy. You have to click on this and add domain. So that's it. That's how you add a sender to your allowed list and your domain to the allowed list. Now, if it's you want to block, the same thing, the same way you added for allowed is the same way you do for blocked. So I'm blocking this. Click on this guy and you click add. Then that's the blocked senders list. Then the same thing for the domain. You add the domain. I want to see something. This .com. And I click add domain. Okay, it's here. So that's done. So for you see for the senders, blocked senders, let me try that again. That should be mko@.com. And I click add senders. Okay, so now you see we have all of the senders and both for allowed and blocked added. So you just click save. So that's how you add users to your blocked senders list and your allowed senders list. Now, if you now want to add the IP, take note, for IPs, you use the connection filter policy. So now we're completely okay. So you click on the connection filter policy, click on the edit connection filter policy. Here you have the option to add the IP address. let's say the IP is so in this case, you notice that you can't find the text box under. You can't find the text box under. That means we can't add this IP via the GUI. We can add it from this admin portal. If I click save now, not because there's an issue, an existing issue, but because this has been on for a while now. You'd see no IP address. We can't add it. The only way you'll be able to add the IP is when that drop box under shows up, then you click on it and you add. So as an admin, you want to do something like this, you're unable to do it from the admin portal. And this is not only, sometimes the admin portal and you'll not be able to do that. So what do? That's where the PowerShell comes in. With your PowerShell, you can add that IP to the blocked list. With your PowerShell, you can get actions that you cannot do directly from the admin portal. You can get them done using the Windows PowerShell. So that's it. I would not want to go into PowerShell for today. I know some of you have tried your hands on PowerShell, if I'm not mistaken, and you see how interesting it is. So for this one, this is for outbound mails going out. So say, for example, now you want to restrict the number of emails that Isaac can send in a day. This is where you come to. You put the number, set an external message limit, external message going out, internal message coming in, daily message limit, both in and out. You pick it from here. Both in and out, you pick it from here. Restriction placed on users who reach the message limit. What should be the restriction? Restrict the user from sending message till the next day. Click on the drop down arrow. Restrict the user from sending email, no action, just alert only. So as an admin, you can decide that that is what you want, or you decide that you leave that the user should know anything. If the user exceeds 800, you'll not be able to send emails until the next day. Now, this part, forwarding rules, this usually plays another important role. In some cases, you see some admins reaching out and saying they're unable to forward emails and all of that. You have to come here to enable this. If a user like that reaches out, or even an admin reaches out to you and they say they're unable to forward emails, sometimes not just forwarding emails, they're unable to send emails to a Gmail account. The NDR will tell them. So most times how we're able to figure out this issue is we are able to tell what the issue is the NDR. There's something called NDR, non-delivery report. The NDR will always tell you why that email did not get delivered and what you need to do as an admin. So when you see that, you know what to do as an admin. So here you can choose to send a copy of this, you put your email address, notify these users, you put their email address. So it's another beautiful thing with this guy is it tells you whatever action, whatever it is you want to do, it tells you what it's gonna, the result, right? Then you just click save. So that's basically it for today. Let me know if you have any question. I'm taking this back to what it was before now.
Yes,
I'll
ma.
click
A
save.
question, ma.
Okay, please go ahead with your question.
When we are talking about how to remove false entry, talk about false positive, that it means saying a mail is spam when it's not. I didn't explain. You mentioned also false negative. I didn't get that of false negative.
Okay. So when we say false positive, false negative, so false positive is saying that it is spam, right? But it's not spam.
Yes.
Now, that is false positive. Then false negative. It's supposed to be it's supposed to mark it as spam. It didn't mark it as spam. I don't
Okay.
did you yeah, so it's up is what is like word and opposite.
Okay.
That is just how
Okay.
it is. It's just word and opposite. This one is not spam. You marked it as spam. This one is
Okay.
spam. You didn't mark it as spam. It got delivered. So it's just false
Okay.
positive or false negative. It's just word and opposite. Yeah, that's how it
I just
is.
wanted to be sure. Then another question, ma. When we talk about confidence level, we say that the values ranges from 0 to 9, and you mentioned some negative values. I didn't get that of those negative values, the implication of having
Okay.
like
Minus
-1.
one. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the only negative value we have. That's a good one there. So for minus one means it skipped spam filtering, right? It skipped spam filtering. So why did it skip it? It would not just ordinarily skip. Something has made that mail to skip spam filtering. That means either the admin has created a transport rule that, okay, mails coming from this person or mails coming from this domain bypass.
Okay.
That's where the skipping comes in, right? Bypass. Okay, don't filter these mails ahead. Such kind of emails, by the time they get delivered, if you analyze the headers, you see that the SCL is -1. That means those ones bypassed spam filtering. Another instance is if you've added the sender email address or the domain to your allowed list. Such kind of uh mails too would bypass spam filtering. So that's what the -1 means. It skips spam filtering.
Thank
You're welcome. Any other question? So I think this was detailed enough. And yeah, this would bring us to the end of today's class. And very likely, this might be our last class. So I have ample time to prepare for, to put together our 4 months, uh, let me put it, M365 mentorship program or training, right? This might be the last class. And aside from that, if there are more stuffs for me to share with you, I would put that up from my end and share the link with you guys, right? So it depends on my schedule because for this week, I've got impromptu tasks to work on, so I might not be available on Thursday. I also still have pending tasks to deal with. I might not be able to avail myself for the coming weeks. But whatever the case may be, I'll keep you guys up to date in the group, right? So that'll be all for now. I'll drop a quick reminder, your virtual training, where you have the opportunity to get 50% discount if you have plans to write your MS 900 between now and March, right? Don't hesitate to attend one of those virtual trainings so you can get the 50% discount. Make sure you also complete your learning modules on MS 900 before you write your exams and the practice questions. And if you have any question, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Drop your messages in the WhatsApp group. You can reach out to me directly and I'll answer your questions. Thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, ma. Very grateful, ma.
You're very much welcome. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Who is this person just joining? Okay, let me quickly end the class recording. Okay.